Welcome back to the channel, everybody, for this episode 8 here on Sudbury with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, we've moved into June here on the farm, June 2nd to be exact, and we are here in the yard waiting for a very special delivery this morning that should be arriving any minute. Oh, there it comes now. Well, as you might expect, there is a bit of a story here. Mark knows the farmer who had this old Alice articulated tractor, and basically it's not in running condition. It needs a new powertrain, engine and transmission, and the farmer was hanging on to it. He always meant to repower it, but it's been sitting in this state for a number of years, and he was actually just going to have it hauled away. And Mark found out about that, and he asked if he could have it, and the farmer said, absolutely, you come and haul it away, and it is all yours. And he contacted me and said, you know what? It wouldn't be a bad machine to have on the farm as the farm grows. And so he's going to look for a donor tractor that we can get an engine and transmission out of and see if we can't get this old girl back running again. So he's on the hunt for that. But in the meantime, we need to store it here on the farm. So I'm going to get set up to yank this thing off the trailer. So I'll meet up with you in just a minute. Alright, so what I have here is I have rented a winch setup here that I can put on the 3-point of the 9190, and I have the winch line connected to the 8550 here, so we can drag it off. Now I did want to show that connection on camera, but unfortunately it won't hook up onto the 8550 when it's sitting on the flat deck. So I actually have to back it off, connect it up, and drive it back on. So yeah, that wasn't going to work too well for on cameras with a tractor that supposedly can't run. But anyways, let's jump in the 9190 and give this a little tug and see if we can get it off of here. Ooh, she's a heavy girl. Ooh, boy. Didn't have anybody in there steering, but hey, we got it off the ramp. But it's heavy. It takes a bit of a tug. So anyways, we'll get this trucker on his way, and I'll find some place to drag this to here on the farm where it can sit for a while, and I'll catch up with you when that is done. Alright, I got that tractor taken care of. It's up kind of in that area behind the Quonset. It didn't cost us anything. We just got to sit on it until Mark finds a donor tractor for an engine transmission, and we can get it repowered and put to work. But hey, we're not going to need that for some time, so no rush there. Now, I have the HUD turned on. You can see our money is at $67,111. So it's been going up steadily with our cheese sales, as you might expect. But what I really wanted to show you, if I bring this down here, might show up a little bit better on a darker background, is we have a new display there. And that is a result of a new mod I put in. It's called the Human Factors, and it takes into account hunger, thirst, and fatigue. And if those get too far out of whack, it will affect your ability to perform, like for driving vehicles and such. So no more just powering through the night without consequence. And what I think it does is it slows down your max speed, if I interpret it correctly. So you see, currently we're at 7% fatigue, 12% thirst, 12% hunger, and our water bottle that we pack with us, a 1 liter water bottle, is full. And those all get reset if you have a nice hearty breakfast in the morning, which I did. And that was at 8 o'clock, and it's almost 10. So it kind of gives you an idea of how fast those numbers advance. And in fact, why don't we'll take a little drink of water here. So yes, thank you very much. We could also have coffee if we wanted to there. I didn't show that in the menu, I forgot. But see, now our thirst is down to 9%. We drank from our water bottle, so that didn't cost us anything. But meals, snacks we can have, or filling our water bottle is a small charge. Kind of be fun to play with. Now, another thing I want to show you, if we go in here and we look at our government tab, look at that. We got a warning. What is going on here? Oh my gosh, too many chickens. Okay, we're definitely going to have to take care of that because I'm not going to pay $1,200 for what we're 0.03 meters squared shy of space. So I will fix that. But that's not what I wanted to show you. Is I wanted to show you that I did apply for a grant. And you can see I applied for it here in April. We're going to get an answer in September. That's why I went ahead and did that off a camera. Just because when I kind of messing around with it, I realized it took some time. So I wanted to get a head start on it. I have applied for a $170,000 grant for the biogas plant. I'm hoping if we're successful, we'll get the whole 170. I don't know. We'll find out. But I think when I applied, they said there was a 35 to 45% chance we'd get approved. So we'll see. But I wanted to let you know that is ongoing. Okay, I think that brings you up to speed there. We don't need this anymore, so I'll shut the HUD off. Let's jump in our buggy and go and check our crops. For once I was not in reverse. We'll go up here and check our oats first, I think. Now it's going to be ready to harvest next month, I believe. So we want to check the moisture on that and see where we're at. All right, I need to be in the other view in order for this to work. There's our moisture meter. Let's get our reading here. 9.23. Okay. Oops. Let's check this command here. Yes. Oats. Wow. For grade A, we want between 30, and we're way too dry. So I'm assuming they're actually... Oh, I see. We would fall in here, actually. Grade C. Ooh. Now, we're growing this mostly for the straw, and we're going to feed our chickens, but we're going to have more than we need, so we could sell it off, but hopefully we can improve on that. Let's take a look at the weather. What's that going to do? Oops. Weather. My friend. Hot and sunny today. Oh, but look, we do have some rain in the forecast, so that might adjust that a little bit. Well, we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Nothing we can do about that. Where the heck is my machine? There it is. Found it. Let's go over and check the corn. Now, moisture is of no significance to us on the corn because we're just going to turn it into chaff. So I can't see where moisture matters at all there in that case. But we'll just go over here and see how it's doing. Oh, looking pretty darn good if I say so myself. Might as well run out here and have a look at our grass field while we're at it, I suppose. Yeah, things are looking good here too. Well, I think I will leave you. Oh, no, I do need to mention one more thing. And then I will leave you and we'll move into July when we need to harvest and we'll see what's up. I do have a line on an old harvester with Mark, of course, but it's going to cost us about 100 grand. So I've been waiting and watching the used market at the shop to see if we might not get something more modern for that kind of money. But so far, no luck. So I'll continue to monitor that. But if nothing else shows up, then we'll go with that old international harvester it is from the late 70s, early 80s, I believe, from Mark. So but we'll know that when I join up with you next because something will be here on the farm that we can use to harvest. So we'll catch up with you in a few days. Hello, everyone, and welcome to July. It is oat harvesting time potentially here on the farm, and as such, we had to get our harvester, and I did end up going with the old International from Mark. It's a 1979 model. Now, back in its day, I imagine it would have been a beast of a machine, but by today's standards, a pretty small harvester. But Mark does have it all. I mean, it's basically looks just like new. So it cost us $98,000 for this beastie here. And what I ended up doing is talking to the bank, and I got a personal loan against it for half the value. Not something they really wanted to do, but I explained that we had a large project that we were waiting on this fall, and I wanted to keep the land title free and use it for collateral for when that project potentially came due. So they understood that, and I think they got the hint. They knew there was more business coming, so they acquiesced, and we got a personal loan. Now the header I just paid cash outright from our account because it was only like 5 grand. So we are down now to $30,000 in our account. We did get some help from the goats though, because we've got a couple pallets of goat cheese recently that we were able to sell. Now, that's kind of all the good news. The bad news is that it's harvest time for the oats. And our field moisture is down to 6.2%. And if we take a look at our little chart here, we can see that for oats at 6.2% makes it D grade, the lowest grade possible. And I guess if you're looking for the silver lining, if you look at the penalty we pay, oats has the smallest penalty. Like it's 68% of sell price. Like if we were mustard, we'd be down to 50%. But I've looked through the list, and oats is the best crop we could have under these conditions, given these circumstances, I guess, as luck would have it. But if we look at the weather here, you can see we're expecting some rain through the rest of the month, so we may be able to get that moisture may come up. Oh, heck, maybe we can get all the way to C. Wouldn't that be exciting? But you know what? It is what it is. But we are going to sit and wait on the harvest for a time. So I'm going to end up parking that away in the shed until we need it. I just wanted it here. So when it was go time, we were ready to go. Now I've got our mower set up here because our grass is ready to harvest. And more good news, it is so dry that it's going to turn to hay, I suspect, as soon as we mow it. And I was being a bit sarcastic there because I was thinking of turning this cutting of grass into silage, but we can't turn hay into silage, and that's what we're going to get as soon as we mow. But I did remember something, and that is if we go into our little government area here and we look at the schemes, there is a reduced bale wrapping scheme. And what it says, wrapping bales consumes plastic and prevents the spread of seeds during transportation. This scheme punishes you for wrapping bales, but rewards you when you choose an alternative, such as making hay bales or using a forage wagon. So you know what? We're going to do that scheme because we're definitely going to be making hay bales. I'm assuming. So that might make up for the financial loss or financial hit we're going to take on hay versus silage. So I will meet you at the field, and we're going to see if my assumption is correct. But I'm pretty sure when we cut that, we're going to turn right to hay. So we'll see you in the field. Okay, here we are. Shall we see what happens? I am pretty sure it's going to pop out hay because it's down in the 6% range. And I think it's below 7 is hay. Yep, and there it is, hay, just as I expected. And the other reason I banked on that is because we wanted grass to take the silage, and that's the Murphy way. All right. Well, I don't intend on showing much of this. I just wanted to see and confirm with you whether we got hay or not, and indeed we do. So I am going to do both of these fields and get them baled up and hay bale stored away. And we definitely will have a bunch of hay to sell here come wintertime that we'll get our best price. But I'll get this done and I'll let you know what happens with that scheme, if what extra funds we get, if any, from doing that. But the next time you see me will be when we are ready to do our first harvest cinematic here on the farm, whenever that is, whether it's later this month or into next. Just it'll be just watching the weather and measuring the moisture in the field so we can get the best return. So we'll see you in a little while. Well, guys, it is August 2nd, and I think our oats is as good as it's ever going to get here. We had a really rainy day the last day of July. And then yesterday we had a shower kind of midday, and that has brought our field up to, when I just checked a moment ago up top here, 8.6%. And that's pretty darn good considering, what was it, the 2nd of July, I think it was, we were down at 4.2%. So I think this is as good as we're going to get. And if we look at our sheet here, 8.6, if it stays above 8, it'll keep us C grade, better than D. And actually there's a pretty good price advantage. We'll go from 68% of full price to 83. And I don't think we're going to get any better. If we look at the forecast here, it looks like it's going to be sunny the rest of the month. And actually it's going to get sunny here this afternoon. So we're going to get it off here. Well, it's got a little bit of overcast so we don't lose too much moisture. And we'll just have to take it as it is because there's nothing we can do about it. We can't control the weather. So we're going to do this in a cinematic. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Well, I hope you enjoyed that cinematic. And now it's time to take care of this straw. We're going to do a little bit here together like this, and then we're going to finish up with the cinematic, because I have wanted to do a baling cinematic since we started this series, and it has not worked out for me yet. So maybe this time will be the time. But there's a couple things I need to bring you up to speed on. One, so we got 48,000 liters of grade C oats off of this field. We did manage to stay in grade C for the entire field, so that is good news. Good news in that we didn't drop down to D. And it's very good news that we're getting some straw, so we don't have to purchase straw anymore, so that'll help. We are up to $49,000 in our bank account, and most of that was from cheese, but we do have to thank that scheme we did. I forgot to mention it when we started the harvest. I was so excited to get out in the field and do that. But at the beginning of August, we did get paid out for the scheme, and they paid us $1,286. And so I calculated that to $18 a bale, basically, is what they they paid us for doing that. But hey, we were going to make hay anyways, so it's $1,200 we wouldn't have had before, but it doesn't exactly set the world on fire. But we'll definitely do that one again, because we are not using any plastic here, and hey, it's a free $1,200. Why not? It's better than the government taking $1,200 for too many chickens. Now we'll be filling up the cow pen to its maximum with this straw, and then of course the rest we'll save. We won't be selling any of that. And speaking of the cows, we are at 49,000 like I said, but we need to buy about $5,000 worth here of mineral feed in the next day or two to put back in the pen. So that expense is going nowhere in the near future. Now that old harvester worked pretty darn good, I must say. I was a little concerned because it's only rated, I think, at 202 horsepower or 203, something like that, that it might struggle on these hills, but it didn't seem to have any issue at all. So that was good news. Now, what we put in this field next year, I haven't a clue at this point. We'll get it all prepped. It won't be oats though, because we do need to do a crop rotation. So maybe what we'll do is go back and throw corn in here. Now, probably won't keep you on board for the entire time, but what I will do is bale up the entire headlands and pick those bales up, just so that I can do the cinematic without having any collision issues. So far, the human factors mod's working okay. When I was working on the grass field, I actually worked for 5 hours in a row there, and I was 50% fatigued. So if it's a linear function, basically I can work 10 hours and then I'm going to be in trouble. And you pretty much, I think it's a little bit, about 5 hours it's set up for between meals. And if you have a big meal, which unfortunately you can only do at the sleep chicken, I guess basically means it's making you return to the house for a meal. But when you eat the big meal, it kind of resets everything back to zero again, except of course the fatigue part, and you're good to go. Like the thirst and the hunger and that all go to zero when you have a big meal. So far it's working pretty good. It hasn't hurt us any, and it's just something else you got to keep an eye on. And it does cost you a little bit of money. You know, it costs you $20 for a big meal, so it's a little extra expense. So. And food is, you know, not free. We have enough oats, I would think, to feed our chickens for about a decade or more, but I wouldn't mind actually looking at putting another pen in someplace and having a reasonable number of chickens, because 5 is rather sad. Fortunately, on this map, you cannot remove any of the buildings on the farms, so it's not like we can sell that pen and put another one in. That one has to stay. At least so far I've not found a way of getting rid of it. Just something we got to deal with. Had to mute you there for a second. My granddaughter came running downstairs. And I think that's probably a signal for me to finish this up off camera. Like I said, I'll get the headlands done and those bales picked up so they're not on the road. And then we will get a baling cinematic in. So I guess at this point I'll say sit back and enjoy the tunes. Well, there we go, guys. The straw is all baled up. We got 51 bales off of that field, so that is going to come in darn handy, so we're not going to need to buy straw for a little while at least. And I have to say, I really like this D21. It's a great little tractor here on the farm. I actually wouldn't mind having another one. When I was doing that haying and I was baling with a 9190, boy, I really miss the tight turning radius that this D21 has. If not another one of these, we could certainly use another tractor in this kind of size with its maneuverability, because 9190 is just not made for that type of work, really. I like that tractor a lot as well. It's great for, the heavier field work, but not the best for grass work. But anyways, the other thing I was thinking about just before I leave you, is I was wondering if we shouldn't invest in a square baler. Could make some larger bales and wouldn't need to stop. Might be a little bit more efficient. So don't be surprised if we might not make a jump in that direction. But anyways, for this episode, we are done. Yeah, I'm willing to admit this one was a struggle to get out. I had lots of technical issues during the making of this that I won't bore you with, but I have to admit I'm glad to see the backside of this one. I think I've got everything ironed out now, so the next one should be a little smoother. But if you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, if you consider hitting that like and subscribe button, that too would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget about that old notification bell. But for this episode, here on Sudbury, it's Farmer Murphy, signing off.